Have you ever found yourself wondering what a simple gesture, like a kiss after an intimate moment, truly means? Perhaps you've experienced a moment so tender, so vulnerable, that it left you pondering whether it was just affection or a much deeper connection. You're not alone. Many have questioned the significance of such gestures, and today, we're going to explore the meaning behind them. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. Your support means a lot, so if you find value in this video, please give it a thumbs up to help spread our message. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, please comment 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0. Your feedback is crucial as it helps me create better videos that align with your interests. Now, let's get started. Have you ever found yourself lost in thought after a kiss? One that comes after an intimate moment, perhaps after something as deeply personal as oral sex? It's the kind of gesture that can linger in your mind, leaving you to wonder what it really means. Is it simply affection? Is it a sign of love, respect, or something more profound? If you've ever pondered the depth of such a moment, rest assured, you are not alone. Many have wrestled with this question, trying to understand what emotions lie beneath that kiss. Let me take you on a journey to a time and place where love was understood through wisdom passed down from generation to generation. This is the story of an old woman whose understanding of the human heart was like no other. Her words were not only wise but rich with life's experiences, filled with love, loss, and everything in between. And her insight into this question is sure to surprise you, stirring something deep within your soul. In a peaceful village, surrounded by towering hills and vast meadows that stretched out under an endless sky, there lived an elder whose wisdom had become legendary. She had lived a full life, having seen love in all its forms, joyful and heartbreaking, fleeting and enduring. People traveled from far and wide to seek her counsel, for she had a unique ability to help others find clarity in the midst of their emotional storms. Her modest home, simple and adorned with wildflowers that grew freely around it, had become a sanctuary for those in need. It was a place where the confused found answers, where the heartbroken found peace, and where the lost found their way. One such evening, as the sun began its slow descent, casting long golden rays across the village, a young woman made her way to the elder's home. Her heart was heavy, her steps slow and uncertain, as though she carried an invisible burden that weighed her down. For days, a question had been gnawing at her, a question she felt embarrassed to voice, yet one she couldn't shake from her thoughts. It was a question about love and intimacy, about something that had left her feeling both connected and confused. As she approached the elder's door, she hesitated, unsure if this was the right place to ask such a personal question. But there was no one else she could turn to, no one else she trusted to understand. Gathering her courage, she knocked softly, her hand trembling slightly. The door opened slowly, revealing the elder, her eyes warm and welcoming, as though she had been expecting her. "Come in, child," the elder said softly, her voice like the gentle rustling of leaves in the evening breeze. "Sit by the fire and tell me what troubles you." The young woman entered, feeling the comforting warmth of the small home wrap around her like a blanket. She sat down, her hands nervously twisting in her lap as she struggled to find the right words. Finally, after a long pause, she spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "Wise elder," she began, her voice trembling with uncertainty, "there's something that has been weighing on my mind. I don't know if it's proper to ask, but I can't stop thinking about it. What does it mean when a woman kisses a man after performing oral sex? Is there something more behind that kiss? Does it carry a deeper meaning?" The elder listened patiently, her eyes never leaving the young woman's face. She could see the vulnerability in her, the fear of being judged, but also the deep need for understanding. She smiled gently, knowing that the question the young woman had asked was one that many before her had also pondered. "Ah," the elder said softly, her eyes twinkling with the wisdom of years. "The meaning behind a kiss, especially after such an intimate act, is one of the most profound expressions of love and connection. You see, a kiss is never just a kiss. It is a language of its own, one that speaks to the heart without needing words. And when it follows a moment of such vulnerability, it carries with it the weight of acceptance, affection, and often, something much deeper. The young woman leaned in, her heart racing as she listened to the elder's words, eager to understand the meaning she had long sought. In many ways, the elder continued, her voice soothing, a kiss after such an act is an affirmation, a way of saying, I see you in your most vulnerable state, and I love you all the more for it. It is a gesture that goes beyond the physical, reaching into the emotional and spiritual. It is a way of telling your partner that they are cherished, respected, and valued, not just for their body, but for their whole being. In that kiss, there is a deep communication of trust and love. It is a seal, a moment that says, I am with you, completely, without barriers or hesitation. The young woman sat back, her eyes wide with realization. She had never thought of a kiss in such a way, but now, the elder's words made perfect sense. It wasn't just about the act itself, it was about the connection, the unspoken message that was passed between two people in that quiet, tender moment. But, the young woman asked softly, does it always mean that? What if the kiss doesn't feel like that, or what if it's given without thinking? The elder smiled knowingly. Not every kiss carries the same meaning, my dear. Sometimes, a kiss is just a kiss, a gesture of affection or habit. But when it follows such a vulnerable moment, it often holds much more significance. It is a moment where two souls meet, where the physical act gives way to the emotional connection that binds them. Whether or not the person giving the kiss understands it consciously, it often reflects a deeper truth, a truth of love, respect, and acceptance. If you are still watching this video, and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. The young woman felt the weight of the elder's words settle over her like a comforting blanket. She had come seeking clarity, and she had found it in the elder's gentle wisdom. The kiss she had wondered about wasn't just a simple gesture, it was a profound expression of love, one that spoke volumes without the need for words. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky filled with the soft hues of twilight, the young woman thanked the elder, her heart lighter and her mind clearer. She left the elder's home with a new understanding of the power of small gestures, and as she walked back to her own life, she felt a sense of peace she hadn't known before. She had learned that love, in all its forms, could be communicated in ways she had never imagined, and that sometimes the quietest gestures spoke the loudest truths. And so, she carried the elder's wisdom with her, knowing that in every kiss, every touch, and every moment of vulnerability, there was the potential for profound connection and love. The elder, who had heard all kinds of questions in her lifetime, smiled gently. She looked at the young woman with eyes that had seen countless stories of love unfold, some beautiful, some tragic, but all of them meaningful in their own way. She knew that the answers to such questions weren't found in simple words. They were found in stories, in lived experiences that touched the heart and soul. Come closer, my dear, the elder said softly, her voice as warm as the evening air. Let me share with you a story that has been passed down through time, a story about love, intimacy, and the power of a simple kiss. The young woman leaned in, eager to hear the elder's words, her heart racing with anticipation. The elder began her tale, her voice painting vivid pictures of a time long ago. Many years ago, when the trees were young and the rivers ran wild with the promise of adventure, there lived a woman named Lyra. Lyra was not just beautiful, she was wise, kind, and known for the depth of her emotions. She loved a man named Heroes, a brave soul who had faced many challenges in life, but still struggled to understand the mysteries of love. Despite his strength, there was a vulnerability in him, a fear that he wasn't enough, that he didn't understand what it truly meant to love and be loved. The elder paused, her eyes twinkling with the memory of the tale. Lyra and Heroes shared many moments together, their bond growing with every shared laugh, every stolen glance. They weren't just lovers, they were partners, two souls who had found each other in the chaos of the world. One evening, under a sky that glittered with stars, they came together in an intimate way. It was a moment of vulnerability, of trust, as Lyra gave herself to Heroes in an act of oral love. The young woman listened, captivated by the elder's words, feeling the emotion behind each sentence. She could sense that this story wasn't just about an act of love. It was about something deeper, something more profound. Afterward, the elder continued, her voice softening, Lyra did something that took Heroes by surprise. She kissed him, gently, but with all the love in her heart. Heroes, confused but moved by her tenderness, asked her, Lyra, why did you kiss me now in this moment? What does it mean? The elder's voice filled with emotion as she spoke the words that Lyra had shared with Heroes, words that echoed through time. I kissed you, Lyra said, because I love you not just with my body, but with every part of my being. In you, I see not only a lover but a person worthy of my respect, my admiration, and my devotion. This kiss is my way of showing you that I honor who you are, not just in this moment, but in all moments. It is my way of saying that I see you, I value you, and I love you for everything that you are, inside and out. The young woman's eyes filled with tears as the elder's story came to an end. The answer she had sought was not only clear but profoundly moving. The kiss, after such an intimate act, was not just about the physical connection. It was about love, respect, and a deep, emotional bond that transcends the moment. It was a gesture that said, I see you, and I honor everything you are. The elder smiled at the young woman's expression, knowing that the story had touched her in the way she had hoped. You see, my dear, the elder said softly, a kiss after such an intimate moment is a way of saying, I love you, not just for what we've shared, but for the person you are. It's a symbol of trust, of respect, and of a deeper connection that goes beyond the physical. It's a way of showing that love isn't just about the act itself. It's about the meaning behind it, the emotions that bind two souls together. The young woman left the elder's home with her heart full of understanding. She now realized that love is far more complex and beautiful than she had ever imagined. A kiss after such an intimate moment wasn't just a kiss. It was a statement of love, respect, and the recognition of the other person's soul. It was a way of saying, I honor you, I cherish you, and I see you for who you truly are. And so, the next time you find yourself in such a moment, remember the words of the wise elder and the story of Lyra and Heroes. That kiss, though small and fleeting, carries with it the weight of love, respect, and the deep connection between two people. It is a gesture that speaks to the heart, without needing words. The elder paused, her eyes softening as the weight of the story sank in. She could see the young woman sitting before her, eager yet reflective, digesting the profound meaning behind her words. Lyra's kiss was never just a kiss. It was a gesture so layered with emotion and meaning that it transcended the physical act. It was a declaration, a silent yet powerful message that said, I accept you fully, with all your flaws and imperfections. There are no walls, no hesitations between us, only complete respect and love. The elder leaned forward, her voice soft but steady as she spoke again. You see, my dear, when Lyra kissed Heroes, it was her way of telling him something that words couldn't quite capture. A kiss, when given with love and intention, is a language of its own. It communicates a depth of respect and acceptance that often goes unspoken. And in that moment, Lyra wanted Heroes to know that she cherished every part of him, not just physically but emotionally and spiritually. That kiss was her way of saying, I see you, and I love you for everything that you are, without reservation. The young woman sat in silence for a moment, her mind buzzing with the elder's wisdom. She had never thought about something as simple as a kiss in such a deep way. But now, with the elder's words lingering in the air, she could feel the profound truth behind them. Love, she realized, wasn't always expressed through grand gestures or sweeping declarations. Sometimes, it was the smallest, quietest moments that held the most weight. Her heart felt lighter, as if the elder had lifted a veil and shown her a new way of understanding the gestures of love. The sun had almost set now, the last rays of light painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. The young woman's eyes reflected that fading light, and as she stood to thank the elder, she felt a new sense of clarity. She had come seeking answers, and she was leaving with something far more valuable, a new understanding of how love could be communicated without words, through the simplest acts of tenderness. As the young woman made her way home, the elder's story continued to echo in her mind. Lyra and Heroes, their connection, their kiss, it all felt so real, so vivid, as if it had happened just yesterday. The story wasn't just about them anymore. It was about her, too. The lessons she had learned were not just about the characters in the tale. They were lessons about life, about her own relationship, and about how to love more deeply. In the days that followed, the young woman found herself reflecting on the elder's teachings more and more. She began to see her own relationship through a different lens, realizing how often she had taken the small moments for granted. A kiss, she now understood, wasn't just a kiss. It was a way to communicate what words often failed to express. It was a way to show love, respect, and acceptance in a way that went straight to the heart. She started to pay closer attention to the gestures she shared with her partner, the way they communicated with one another in those quiet moments when words weren't necessary. She began to notice the subtleties of their connection, the way his hand would linger on hers after a long day, the way his eyes would meet hers with unspoken understanding. These were the moments that mattered, she realized. These were the moments where love truly lived. One night, as the moon hung low in the sky, barely casting its light over the quiet landscape, the young woman decided to put into practice what she had learned from the elder. The stars above twinkled faintly, their glow serene and comforting. She and her partner had shared an evening of closeness, their love for one another palpable in the stillness of the night. It was in these moments, when the world seemed to fade away, that she felt most connected to him. After their time together, she turned to him and, without saying a word, leaned in to kiss him. But this kiss was different from any other she had given before. It wasn't just an act of affection, it was a gesture filled with meaning, with all the love and respect she felt for him pouring through her lips. It was a kiss that spoke volumes without the need for words. Her partner, sensing the depth of her emotion, looked at her with a mixture of surprise and tenderness. His eyes searched hers, trying to understand the significance of the moment. She smiled softly, remembering the elder's words and the story of Lyra and Heroes. In a voice barely above a whisper, she said, "This kiss, it's more than just a kiss. It's my way of telling you that I love you completely, that I respect and accept you for who you are, with no reservations. There are no barriers between us, only love, pure and true." Her words hung in the air between them, like a promise, like a vow. Her partner, visibly moved by her sincerity, pulled her close and held her in his arms. In that embrace, they both felt something shift. It was as if they had crossed into a deeper level of their relationship, one where love wasn't just something they spoke about, but something they lived and breathed in every moment. If you are still watching this video, and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. From that night forward, their relationship took on a new dimension. They began to communicate in ways they hadn't before, where every touch, every glance, every kiss carried a deeper meaning. They didn't need to say, "I love you" with words all the time, because their actions spoke louder. A simple touch of the hand, a shared look from across the room, these became their love letters to one another, silent but powerful. As the days passed, the young woman found that her relationship was growing stronger and more intimate. It wasn't just about the big moments anymore. It was about the small, everyday gestures that showed how much they cared for one another. Each kiss, each touch, became a reminder of the love and respect they shared, a bond that was deepening with each passing day. She had learned that love wasn't something that always needed to be declared loudly or with grand gestures. Sometimes, the quiet moments, the ones where you simply hold each other close and let your heart speak, were the ones that mattered most. Through the elder's wisdom, the young woman had discovered that true love is about acceptance, about seeing your partner for who they truly are, and loving them fully, flaws and all. And so, in those quiet moments, when words fell away and only the heart remained, she found the truest expression of love. In a kiss, in a touch, in a shared glance. These were the moments where their love lived, where it grew, where it became something more than just words. And in those moments, she knew that their love was stronger than ever, built on a foundation of respect, acceptance, and a deep, unspoken understanding that needed no explanation. As the tale of Lyra and Heroes, so delicately told by the elder, began to ripple through the village, a quiet transformation took hold of the people. It wasn't immediate, but like a soft breeze spreading across a field, it touched everyone, couples, families, and friends alike. The story planted seeds of understanding that grew steadily within the hearts of those who heard it. It wasn't just a story about a kiss, it was a revelation about the deeper layers of love, respect, and connection that often go unnoticed in the hustle of everyday life. Couples began to look at one another differently, with more care, more patience, and a new sense of appreciation for the small, tender gestures that make up the fabric of love. The village became a place where love was not just declared in words or shown through grand, passionate gestures. Instead, it was something woven into the daily lives of its people, into the way they touched one another's hand while walking, the way they lingered in each other's gaze, and the way they smiled at one another in quiet moments of togetherness. The story of Lyra's kiss to Heroes, a gesture so filled with meaning, resonated in the hearts of the villagers. They began to realize that intimacy was not solely defined by the physical closeness shared in passionate moments, but by the way two people commit to seeing and accepting each other completely, flaws and all. A kiss, once thought of as a fleeting touch, now held within it the power of unspoken promises, the weight of a love that saw beyond the surface. The villagers learned that love wasn't just in the words, but in the actions that spoke of care, affection, and mutual respect. Actions that, though small, had the power to change everything. Across the village, relationships grew stronger as people took the elders' wisdom to heart. Husbands and wives, long accustomed to their routines, began to take moments out of their busy days to truly connect. They kissed not out of habit, but with intention, letting each kiss be a reminder of the depth of their love. Even young couples, just beginning to understand the complexities of relationships, found in the story a guide to build their bonds on something more than fleeting passion, on trust, acceptance, and mutual respect. Parents, too, began teaching their children this new understanding of love, passing on the elders' wisdom about how intimacy is not just found in passionate embraces, but in every act of kindness and consideration. The story of Lyra and Heroes became part of the village's collective consciousness, a tale passed from generation to generation. It wasn't just a story about a kiss, it was a story about love in its purest form, a love that transcends the physical and speaks to the heart, soul, and mind. The elder, who had shared this tale, watched the transformation of her village with a quiet sense of fulfillment. She had spent her life telling stories, preserving the wisdom of the past, and now she could see the fruits of her labor. Her role, as she had always understood it, was not merely to keep these stories alive for the sake of tradition. It was to give them life, to allow them to breathe and grow in the hearts of those who needed their wisdom. With each story she told, she wasn't just sharing a piece of history. She was planting seeds of love, respect, and understanding, helping to cultivate a community built on strong, healthy relationships. The elder often sat by her window, looking out at the village she had lived in her entire life, and smiled. She knew that stories had the power to change lives, and she had seen it happen with her own eyes. The village was now a place where love wasn't just spoken about, it was lived. Each day, she saw the evidence of her stories in the way people treated one another, with care, with kindness, and with the understanding that love is something that needs to be nurtured, tended to, and protected. The elders' stories had woven an invisible thread through the village, connecting everyone with the timeless values of respect, acceptance, and love. And though the world outside the village changed with each passing year, the wisdom of the elders' tales kept the heart of the community strong. She had taught them that love was not a fleeting feeling or a grand gesture. It was in the small moments, the everyday actions that spoke of devotion and care. In this way, the village became a living testament to the power of love lived fully and authentically. And now, for you who have listened to this story and have come this far with us, we have something special to offer as a token of appreciation. In the comments below, you will find a link to download our digital book, a collection of stories, much like the one you've just heard, filled with lessons about love, life, and the human spirit. But don't wait too long. There are only a limited number of copies available, and they'll be gone before you know it. Have you ever found yourself caught in the quiet aftermath of an intimate moment, wondering what a simple kiss truly signifies? Maybe it was right after an experience so personal, so deeply vulnerable, that it left you questioning whether that kiss was merely a fleeting gesture of affection or something far more profound, a silent declaration of love, respect, or an unspoken promise. These moments can leave you lost in thought, heart pounding, as you replay them in your mind, searching for answers, craving clarity about what it all really means. You're not alone in this. Many of us have been there, caught in that delicate space between the physical and emotional, where every touch, every lingering glance, feels like it holds the weight of something much bigger. We wonder, does this kiss signify a deeper connection? Is it a sign of unconditional love, an acknowledgement of the trust shared in that intimate moment, or perhaps a reflection of something even more powerful that words can't express? In today's video, we will dive deeply into the emotional layers of intimacy, exploring the hidden meanings behind those small but significant gestures that often go unnoticed. We'll unravel the intricate dance between vulnerability and love, where moments like these become windows into the soul of a relationship. Together, we'll uncover how these gestures, simple as they may seem, can reveal the depth of someone's affection, respect, and emotional investment. And that's why I encourage you to watch this video until the very end, because by the time we finish, you'll gain a new understanding, a clarity that will forever change how you perceive and experience intimacy in your relationships. The insights shared today might just help you discover a new way to connect on a deeper, more meaningful level, offering you the tools to nurture the love and respect you deserve. So, stay with me as we embark on this emotional journey, and by the end, you'll see these moments of intimacy with new eyes, ready to embrace the true depth and beauty of the